Today, we released the RTB's quarterly Director's Update for Q2 2025. I'm joined by my colleagues Louise Loughlin and Brian Gallwey to discuss the main highlights from the data and announcements we shared today. Brian, let's start with the latest RTB ESRI rent index figures for Q4 2024. What did we learn from these?
They showed that rents continue to rise for both new and existing tenancies. Nationally, the average rent for new tenancies rose by 5.5% year on year to €1,680, and by 4.6% for existing tenancies to €1,440.
Now, we know that the rent index cannot measure RPZ compliance, but it can highlight trends in areas that we need to look into, such as Gallwey. Can you tell us about that?
That's right, Gallwey is an RPZ area, but rent inflation for new tenancies there has remained above 8% for 8 consecutive quarters now. Usually we can see an explanation in the data when rental inflation spikes in an RPZ area. For example, when new apartment blocks that aren't subject to RPZ rules come on stream, but we're not seeing an obvious explanation in the data for Gallwey.
This data certainly concerned me, and we're now planning to engage directly with renters, landlords and other stakeholders in the county in June to investigate further. And we'll also be hosting a forum to address non-compliance with rental law. Louise, we shared some other updates today that also highlight our ongoing commitment to driving compliance with rental law. Can you please tell us about those?
Yes, today we published 36 sanctions against landlords with a total value of $103,000. We have focused significant resources on in-depth investigations into serious, deliberate and repeated breaches of rental law by certain landlords. These have helped us to secure higher sanctions than in previous years. We also provided an update on our RPZ compliance campaign. We are continuing to spot check landlords who did not engage with us. We have identified another 380 cases that we will escalate for further compliance action this year.
Thanks, Louise. It's great to hear how our research and data is helping to drive compliance campaigns. Brian, our data is also critical to inform rental sector policy. Can you tell us about the key highlights from the other data released today?
Well, the other big ones were the RTB Profile of the Registered Data Series to Q1 2025 and figures for student-specific accommodation and cost rental tenancies in 2024. Student-specific accommodation tenancies were up by 8.4% year on year to over 36,000 at the end of 2024, while cost rental tenancies rose by 185% to more than 2,400. In the Profile of the Registered Data Series, we also saw approved housing bodies tenancies grow by 10.9% annually to over 51,000 at the end of Q1 2025.
What did the data tell us about private tenancies?
Well, the trends were mixed. Registered private tenancies rose by 4.6% annually to over 240,000 at the end of Q1 2025, but they fell by 360 tenancies or 0.15% from Q4 2024. Private landlords also increased by 1.4% annually to over 104,400, but they fell by just over 1,100 landlords or 1% from Q4 2024.
That is certainly interesting and something we need to keep a close eye on moving forward. We also announced 2 new initiatives today to improve RTB customer experience. The first was a new 4-year partnership with a Kerry-based leading Irish company, Vexco. They will manage our outsourced customer service centre from July. This partnership will enable us to improve the quality of customer service for over 350,000 customers who contact us each year. Our final announcement was that we are releasing a pilot of our new online dispute resolution centre for final testing this May. Louise, can you tell us a bit more about this, please?
Thanks, Rosemary. This new platform will enable RTB customers to apply, pay for and manage their dispute case online. It will allow for faster case processing and better communication with the RTB. We chose to configure ServiceNow, which is a globally recognised platform to manage business workflows instead of developing a bespoke solution. This has enabled us to deliver this project in the fastest and most cost-effective way.
Thanks, Louise. And thanks to our viewers for tuning in. If you'd like more detail on today's update, please visit rtb.ie for more information.